You already know dolphins are intelligent. The research goes back 60 years. Mirror tests, problem solving, skills passed between generations, the way a culture passes knowledge down. Every time someone runs a new test, the number comes back higher than expected. That version of dolphin intelligence is real, and it is not in question. What nobody told you is what that intelligence can also enable. The behaviors that take the most brain power in a dolphin's social world are not the ones that ended up in nature documentaries. They include trapping females who have no way out, killing calves, and attacking an animal they do not eat for reasons scientists still debate. One proposed explanation is worse than the mystery. The common bottlenose dolphin, Tursiops truncatus, reaches 7 to 13 feet in length. The largest males weigh close to 1,400 pounds. They live in every ocean on Earth, from warm coastal shallows to open water hundreds of miles offshore. They are the dolphin in the aquarium tanks, the one in the footage that made you think you understood what a dolphin was. The early research on dolphin cognition happened almost entirely in captivity. That limited what it could show. In a tank, you see what a dolphin can do. You don't always see what it actually does. And that difference turns out to matter quite a lot. When long-term field programs started running in places like Shark Bay in Western Australia and the Moray Firth in Scotland, the data they returned looked nothing like what came out of the aquariums. Start with something simple. Bottlenose dolphins develop individually distinctive signature whistles early in life. Those whistles can remain stable for years, and other dolphins can copy them when addressing a specific individual, much as a person uses a name to get someone's attention. They have names, and they use each other's names. Stephanie King and Vincent Janik tested this with wild, bottlenose dolphins. When the animals heard a copy of their own signature whistle, they called back. They did not respond the same way to unfamiliar whistles. The evidence suggests that dolphins can use learned identity signals as labels when addressing one another. Among non-human mammals, that kind of learned vocal labeling is exceptional. In 2001, Diana Rees of Columbia University and Laurie Marino published a study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. The setup was simple. They marked bottlenose dolphins in spots the animal could only see in a mirror. Then they gave the animals access to a mirror. The dolphins used it to investigate the marks on their own bodies. They were not looking at another animal. They recognized themselves. Before Rees and Marino's study, only chimpanzees and one other great ape had done the same thing. The bottlenose dolphin joined that list. And then there are the alliances. Richard Connor and other researchers have spent decades watching Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphins in Shark Bay, a shallow, warm inlet on the western coast of Australia. Fieldwork there has run since 1982, making it one of the world's longest dolphin research programs. The team revealed a scale of nested male cooperation that has few known parallels outside our own species. Male dolphins form small groups of 2 or 3. Those pairs and trios join larger alliances of up to 14 individuals. And those alliances coordinate with other alliances, tracking each other's positions across the whole area. 3 layers of relationship, all running at the same time. Researchers compare the scale and nesting of these alliances most closely with human social networks. Think about what that asks of you. Keeping track of your immediate group, the larger alliance it belongs to, and where that alliance stands against every other one in the area. All at once, constantly updating. Dolphins in Shark Bay are doing exactly that, every single day. And what those alliances are built to do is the first thing that did not make it into the documentary. Connor's team documented the primary function of the alliance structure. When male dolphins want to mate with a female, they surround her. They hold that formation for days at a time. When she tries to leave, they cut her off. When she moves toward a gap, another male closes it. She has no way out. The males have built it that way. One male alone cannot contain a healthy female. She is too fast and too agile. You need the whole alliance, reading her movements, covering every exit before she can reach it. And the three-tier structure that took years to map exists in large part to make this possible. This is not a local quirk. Connor's team documented it in Shark Bay. Independent observation found the same pattern in multiple other populations. It is a behavior that requires the alliance to function and the intelligence to run the alliance. That behavior, at least, has a logic you can follow. What other bottlenose dolphins were doing to a completely different species in Scottish waters had no logic anyone could find for years. Beginning in the early 1990s, harbour porpoise carcasses started washing up on Scottish beaches in unusually high numbers. The injuries were severe: broken ribs, internal bleeding. The damage pointed to something large hitting something smaller at high speed, repeatedly with its snout. Harry Ross and Ben Wilson of the Sea Mammal Research Unit spent years documenting what was happening. Their findings came out in 1996. Bottlenose dolphins were responsible. A dolphin would target a porpoise, ram it at speed with its snout, and keep going long after the porpoise had stopped moving. And other dolphins sometimes joined in. If you were watching from a boat, you might not know what you were seeing. Dolphins at the surface, movement in the water. From the right angle and the right distance, it can resemble play. But the injuries are lethal. The porpoise was never eaten. Later analysis found that 63% of harbour porpoises washing up along the Moray Firth showed injuries consistent with dolphin attacks. Not a handful of cases, a sustained pattern. The scientific literature developed a term for it: porpoiside. And Scotland was not the only place this was happening. The same pattern emerged along the coast of Wales and in the North Sea. Different dolphin populations, different coastlines, the same behavior with the same outcome. For years, no single explanation held up. Dolphins do not eat the porpoises, and direct competition for food does not account for the attacks. Standard predator logic could not explain the pattern. Then a paper published in 1998 offered a disturbing, possible link. The proposed explanation was worse than the mystery. In 1998, Ian Patterson and his colleagues at the Sea Mammal Research Unit published findings from the same Moray Firth population. They had found dead dolphin calves in the same waters, with the same injuries as the porpoises, the same broken ribs, the same blunt force pattern, the same signature. Bottlenose dolphins were killing their own calves. Patterson's team connected the two patterns cautiously. Harbour porpoises overlapped the size range of dolphin calves, and the injuries looked remarkably similar. One hypothesis was that attacks on porpoises could serve as practice for aggression used against calves. It was a proposed link, not a proven motive. One biological explanation for infanticide is sexual selection. If losing a calf ends nursing and returns a female to reproductive conditions sooner, a male attacker could gain another mating opportunity. That mechanism is established in some mammals and has been proposed for dolphins. But the motive in any individual attack is difficult to prove. The attacks still require perception, timing, and sometimes coordination. But scientists have not shown that dolphins plan infanticide through a human-like understanding of another animal's mind. The careful conclusion is narrower and still unsettling. An animal capable of individual recognition and layered alliances can also direct lethal violence at calves and at another cetacean species. That does not make dolphins human. It means intelligence can support recognition, cooperation, coercion, and violence, without carrying anything like a human moral code. The porpoise kills may not be senseless, but their purpose remains unsettled. The possibility that they rehearse calf-directed aggression is only one hypothesis. What is certain is that the same kind of animal can recognize individual calls, pass a mirror test, maintain nested alliances, and inflict repeated lethal attacks on a smaller cetacean. Go back to where this started. You came into this video with a picture of dolphin intelligence built over 60 years of research. The mirror test, the social bonds, the cooperative, curious animal using its brain in ways that look, from the outside, a little like wisdom. All of that is real, and you were not wrong to be impressed by it. And the field record shows what that intelligence can also enable. It supports a three-tier social structure used to consort and control females. Dolphins have also killed calves, and researchers have debated whether attacks on similar-sized porpoises are connected to that behavior. The intelligence is not separate from what happens in those social groups and Scottish waters. It is part of what makes such coordinated behavior possible. We spent 60 years asking how smart dolphins are. Field studies force a harder question. What can that intelligence be used to do? At the start of this video, you knew dolphins were intelligent. Now you know what that intelligence can look like when the familiar aquarium story falls away. Nested alliances used to control females, documented killings of calves, and porpoises attacked for reasons scientists still debate. The intelligence is real. What changes is the meaning we attach to it. You knew dolphins were intelligent. Now you know intelligence is not the same thing as innocence.